Hey guys, what's happening? Thanks for tuning in, coming back and watching. I appreciate it. I hope you're doing well, staying safe, take care of yourselves, all those kind of things. And if you're new here, I'm Jim. Great to meet you. Thanks for stopping by. I make tutorial videos here every week showing you how I edit my photos using various software products. Today I'm in Luminar AI and I'm doing something a little bit different, and that is I've got a couple of photos I've taken in cities. I call them street photographs. You may define street photography differently, but they're photos taken while I was standing in a street. How about that? And what I'm doing is using templates, but I'm using some kind of non-traditional templates. I'm actually using portrait templates on these street photographs. It's an interesting and different kind of thing to do. It's kind of fun, and it gives you, I think, some cool results. So let me show you the first one. I'm going to run through two quick examples. Here's a photo I took one night in Austin recently. Just a guy at a pizza truck picking up some dinner, I guess. I go to templates, and there's this experimental collection that's a portrait template collection, and while it was not suggested to me for this photo, in fact, you can see it's the AI recognizes elements in a photo and suggests specific things for it, but I went down to portrait and I clicked on experimental, and that's because these experimental all have light leaks, and I think light leaks can look really cool on certain street photographs. So I went and clicked on this feather light. You can see it's got a light leak, and I just think that looks really cool, to be honest. So I went ahead and applied that, and then I went over to edit to make some further adjustments. Now, you can see that light and enhance have been added to this, as have mood, and over here it looks like skin and face AI. That's not going to matter, of course, for this photo because you're not going to see any of that. But again, it's a portrait template, so it's got some of those face and skin AI tools added. Again, it won't come into play here, it doesn't matter. But I'm here on my base photo, and there's some things I like about it, but there's a few things I want to change. There's also a local mask, of course, and that's a texture because that is the light leak itself. So looking at the light leak, I like it a lot. It's a little too much, and so I can come down here and take this opacity down. It's at 65. I can pull it down. You can see how that impacts the photo. I'm going to go maybe like 40 something or whatever, just kind of leave it like that. But I want to make a few more changes to the photo. So what I used to do in Luminar 4 is if I applied a preset or a look, I would then add a new adjustment layer to make additional changes to it. That's kind of what a local mask is like. So I'm going to click add and basic, and what I'm going to do is go in here and just add some contrast and maybe pull down the highlights a little bit, pull up the shadows a tiny bit, and pull up the structure a little bit as well. And that's impacted the entire photo because I have not applied it with a mask. So I'm using the local masking tool, and the design of that tool is, hey Jim, make your edits here and then mask them in accordingly, but I'm not going to mask them in. I'm going to let them apply globally. So it's kind of like adding an adjustment layer and making a few adjustments here. In fact, while I'm at it, I'm also going to take the temperature and make that a little bit cooler. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to go back to Essentials, and I'm going to get Vignette, and I'm just going to stick a vignette on this photo as well. And I'm going to give it a little bit of inner light just to kind of focus on that gentleman there. And there we go. That's a portrait template applied to a street photograph with a few additional edits. And really, I think I've got a nice looking photo. There's my base image that I started with, and there it is now. It's different. It's kind of, I don't know, it's got a cool look to it, I think. If you don't like it, that's totally cool. I personally enjoy light leaks. I've used them in other tools for years, and I've got a texture pack that's around light leaks that I've purchased from somewhere. So things like that I like to use. But the point here is just you have some flexibility using kind of templates that weren't built for the kind of photo you have, and you can use them anyway because a template is like a look in that it's going to apply edits to your photo. This one happens to be built for portraits, but who cares? You can use it on anything. Let me show you one more example. Okay, here's a sunrise shot from the lovely city of Dublin, looking at that fantastically awesome pub. This has those specular highlights in it because that's just how the photo was captured. They came off, I guess all the light coming off of the lights around the pub and that sort of thing caused that. So I've always kind of liked that about this photo, even though it's kind of non-traditional, but I just think it's kind of cool. So one of the first things I see about this photo, in addition to those, I think they're called specular highlights, is that the verticals need to be fixed. However, I know that I'm going to apply a template. So if you're going to apply a template, do that first, because if I go and make an edit, like changing the verticals in this photo and then apply a template, the template's going to wipe those out. And that's because the template is like a look or a preset. It sticks whatever is built into that template to the photo. So do your template first and then fix your verticals. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on templates, and you can see it suggests a couple of things here that it's, again, recognizing the elements in the photo. But once again, I'm going to go to experimental, and I'm going to look at I can't remember which one it is. Not Cold Frame. Celebrate. There you go. Celebrate has similar highlights, bigger and closer, but I think it kind of fits with the theme of the photo. So I'm going to click on Edit, and the first thing I'm going to do is go to Composition AI, and I'm going to click on the Perspective Fix automatically and allow that to adjust my photo. There it is. I think my verticals look pretty good. If you want to adjust them further, you can do so like that. I'm going to do maybe a tiny bit. I think that's about fine. And I'm going to hit Enter because I'm done with that. Now, just like in the last photo, I'm going to go to the local masking tool, and I'm going to take down the opacity of this texture. It's at 80, so I'm going to pull that down to 60 or 50. I don't really know. I'm just kind of winging it here. Let's call it 50. I just want to reduce the impact of that so that it's a little bit not so dominant, I guess. By the way, once again, in advanced settings, you can increase or decrease brightness of this texture layer. So I'm gonna actually go brightness up a tiny bit. Let me check on contrast. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna roll the hue. That's another thing you can do. Yeah, I rolled it around a little bit. I think I'm gonna leave it just at the base hue without changing that. But there we go. There's that. And once again, I'm gonna add a basic local mask. And again, I'm just kind of doing some global adjustments here with contrast. Pull down highlights. I want to pull up shadows. Add some AI structure to the street and that sort of thing. And I think my photo is looking pretty good. Now I'm going to go back to the Essentials tab. I think there's a little too much yellow in that, so I'm going to go in here, maybe take down the vibrance and the saturation a tiny bit. I don't want to overdo that. And then on the yellow, this template, as you can see, already had a -15 on yellow. I'm going to pull that down a little bit more and pull down the orange as well. I just don't want those colors to just totally kind of blow me away. But there we go. I think I've got the colors looking pretty good. And once again, in this case, I'm going to use a vignette. Obviously, that is just a personal choice, as are any edits that you make to your photos. So the fact that I've done similar things with the local masks and the vignette and that sort of thing, it's just coincidence. It's just something I happen to like on these two photos. I'm going to go less round, higher feathering, and a little bit tighter vignette here. And there we go. There's my street photo with a portrait template applied to it. So if I look at the before and after, there's the before and there's the after. And if you do this sliding window, you can see how that looks as well. So it's a different look. It's just an idea I've been playing with, but it's a lot of fun. And whether you like these photos or not is kind of immaterial. I like them. I think they're fun and different. But most importantly, my point here was, when you're using templates, don't be limited to what it suggests or the categories that you automatically would think that photo should fall into. Don't hesitate to experiment. Maybe try a landscape template on a portrait photo. And of course, in this case, I've been using portrait templates on cityscape/street photos, I think with pleasing results. Again, you may not like it. Totally cool. That's your opinion. And I have mine. But the point is, experiment, have fun. The templates, especially those experimental ones, I like them because they have light leaks. And again, this is something that I like, and I think they can go well on certain kinds of photos, like street shots like these. So just something I'm playing around with, having fun. I thought I'd share these thoughts with you. Hope it gives you some ideas, inspires you to try some things with your own edits, and have fun out there, my friends. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon, and adios.